Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. This one is kind of a new old one. Just came out yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And it's a new release of an old performance of 38 Special live at Rockpalast. This was back in 1981. It was actually broadcast as a TV show, but I guess this is the first time it's been released on CD. And as soon as I heard about it, I was like, oh, definitely have to get that. This is one of those bands that I just kind of grew up listening to. Just like a staple on rock radio all the years I grew up listening to the local radio station, 97 Rock, a little bit of a shout out there. And used to hear their stuff, on the radio all the time. And I actually got the pleasure of taking my youngest son to go see them here a few years back, and he hated most of it until the end when, they played all the hits, and he was like, oh, I do know this band. But, so anyway, when I heard this was out, I went right out and got it, and just got done listening to it, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with it, because sometimes, you get live albums, you never know how well they're recorded, how they're going to sound, but sounds great as far as the sound recording, the quality of it goes. You can hear everything here. It doesn't sound like a bootleg, it sounds like an actual recording, which I imagine it was, would be because, it was recorded for a TV show, so so that part of it was like, good. Sometimes that's like getting over that hurdle sometimes is the big part of listening to live albums, but right from the start I was like, oh yeah, it's recorded well, so here we go. So this is back right around when I guess their fourth album would have come out, and this is right when Don Barnes was taking over a little bit more of the singing, or actually quite a bit more of the singing for their Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. Quite a few of the songs are from that. And then, they had a few songs off of Rockin' Into the Night and Special Delivery. The only one off of their debut I see is the cover of that Chuck Berry song, the Back Alley Sally. Or, well, not Back Alley Sally, it's, what one was it? I'm losing track of what I'm looking at here. It was Around and Around was the Chuck Berry one. Back Alley Sally was actually one of their own. But kind of funny, how Don Barnes was actually not originally the singer. It was, Donnie Van Zant. And just over time, he just kind of like was not the front man as the sole lead singer. But, all the big hits were by, Don Barnes. He actually left the band for a little while, which people probably know. And I was not a fan of the Max Carl area. I never really got into those albums. When he came back in, got all those since then. They've actually had a couple since then, 3 I think. So it's been a while since they've had a studio album, so I was actually eager to hear this. So anyway, getting into this, this is back when they were like more in the they're just starting to write some of the more pop style songs, but they're still more in the southern rock vein, which they kind of lost a little bit as time went on for a little while, and they kind of gained it back again now. But this is back when they were really just kind of a rock and roll band, southern rock and roll band. They even have the backup singers and everything on here. And it kicks in with Turn It On, just a cool rockin' song. They don't have any slow songs. Every song on here is rockin' actually. And, it kicks in, fun song, energetic. You get that feeling it's loose, but it's tight at the same time. You can tell they've been playing with each other for a long time. The performances are really tight. And even the vocals, they're both great singers, and this is back, when there's no fixing anything on this type of stuff. It's just is what it is. And for the few amount of mistakes you hear, even with the little vocal things, they're like really good. I mean, they were spot on, I would say 99% of the time on the singing on this. Guitar playing was great, although it's got that loose live feel, which I love. I hate it when songs are too polished up. Obviously on studio albums you're going to get that. And a lot of times when people would release these live albums, they'd go back in and touch them up. I guess since this was for a TV broadcast, they really didn't have the opportunity to do that, but these guys didn't need to. Forget First Time Around, Stone Cold Believer, Robin Hood, all classic rock staples of theirs in their early career. And it isn't until track 5 you get to like Wild-Eyed Southern Boys and then Hold On Loosely, which are kind of the radio hits. And then they go back to a couple more of the older ones, Back Alley Sally and Around Around, like I mentioned already. And they kind of close out, which I thought was kind of strange. Rockin' Into the Night was not their closing song. That was like one of their biggest hits. Some people may not know that was actually written by the guys in Survivor. Jim Peterick being like a longtime collaborator with 38 Special on a lot of songs. I think he collaborated on Wild Eyed Southern Boys and Hold On Loosely. I think he actually wrote one of those by himself, and I can't remember which one, so somebody might want to spot check me. I think it was Wild Eyed Southern Boys he wrote on his own, and he collaborated with Hold On Loosely, but not 100% on that one. You might want to check me on that. But three of the guys from Survivor wrote Rockin' Into the Night. I actually got to see Survivor here right before Jimmy Jamison passed away. It was actually just a few months before he passed away, and they actually performed the song Rockin' Into the Night. And let me tell you, their version of it was quite a bit different. It was still rockin', but you could tell it had the more pop rock elements to it. I hate to say it like that, but it was kind of pop rock that Survivor was anyway. And you can tell how I could anyway from hearing the two comparisons that 38 Special definitely put their own little twist on it and made it sound their own song. They gave it that southern rock feel, and you really hear it on this version of it. And then I guess I Been a Mover was probably supposed to be the last song, with ending with Fortunate Son as the I guess would be like an encore, but they didn't really do that in here. I guess it was just a short little set. I don't know if they edited songs out or not, quite honestly. It doesn't really say much here. But Fortunate Son, kind of with a cover song. Kind of weird, but they did a real good version of it. Enjoyed it. It was nice hearing all the little banner in between all the songs. I actually like that. I like live albums. I enjoy listening to like the banter, and it just makes me feel like part of the show when I'm listening to it. So I have to be in the mood for a live album because I want to listen to the whole thing, not just pieces. I want to sit down and listen to the whole thing. I just kind of want to enjoy it that way. And this was very enjoyable to listen to. I actually really like this. It was not bootleggy at all. It actually sounded really good. So I'm not going to babble on too much longer about this one, but I was glad that I got a chance to get this, and I actually pulled out a couple of the more recent 38 Special albums, like Drivetrain. I haven't listened to that. I think I listened to that once, and so it got me into the mood. I pulled that out. I'm probably going to be listening to that the rest of the day here, and I can't remember what that one sounds like. It was the last studio album they released, and I cannot remember a single thing off of it. So I'm going to throw that on in the CD player here, I guess, because I love CDs. I still own tons of CDs. I probably will never ever get rid of them. That's just me. But anyway, tell me what you guys think of this, or 38 Special. Got any stories to share? I'd love to hear them. Check this out if you're a 38 Special fan. I think you're really going to like this. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun listen. So tell me what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I will talk to you on the next one. See ya.